The Blood Shadow 7 were surprised, and couldn't believe it, thinking that the script would go wrong. However, they did not dare to be careless, and quickly turned around and looked around to determine if there was anyone else, lest they fall into some trap. Pirate God level copy chapter 068 MTL Books logo MTL Books report settings term replacer toggle play/pause TTS add to library reading history chapters toggle invert mode previous next 68 chapter 068 doc tai sang takviet.tk you don't have to look, it's just me. Qin Yi spread his hands and said casually. The Blood Shadow 7 turned around and looked around, and even not far away, they didn't find anyone else, and finally determined that there was only Qin Yi alone. The strength of the 7 of them, that is not bad, in the face of such a little hairy child, naturally will not be afraid, feel that Qin Yi's appearance here, is tantamount to sending death. Boy, could it be that you want to kill us all with the power of one person? Blood Shadow Yashalua walked to the front, squinted at Qin Yi, and said coldly, not believing it at all. They felt that the people who dared to appear here at this time and make trouble for them had some skills, but after all, Qin Yi was too small to have any ability at all, and it was impossible to defeat them. That's right, Qin Yi said calmly. It's ridiculous that you little ghost still wants to kill us, don't you know who we are? A special shinobu came out and said with disdain, as if he felt that he could defeat Qin Yi with just one finger. You are the 7 high-level leaders of the Blood Shadow criminal group, right? The person I am looking for is you. Qin Yi spoke, revealing a sneer. Knowing who we are, and daring to be so rampant, you may be too confident to come and kill us, but since you are here, don't want to leave alive, I think the various organs in your body should be good and will be of good use. The Blood Shadow became cold, his eyes became fierce, and his momentum climbed a lot, making his hair dance and his clothes stir. If you want my life, then see the real chapter under your hands and see who can have the last laugh. Qin Yi said with disdain. Boy, you're crazy enough, I hope you wait, don't ask for mercy. A special supper said coldly. I'd rather see what you're capable of. A special shinobi rushed over and rushed towards Chiba. When he acted, he had already taken out 2 short knives, held them in his hands, launched the wind attribute chakra, blessed them on the short knives, and attacked towards Qin Yi. Blessed with the wind attribute chakra's short knife, the power of the slash out, that is very strong, several times more powerful than ordinary slashes, destroying stones is simply a trivial matter, without the slightest pressure. Seeing the special shinobi holding 2 short knives rushing over and launching a sharp slash, Qin Yi narrowed his eyes slightly, not polite at all, waved his right hand, launched the burning fruit, and blasted out with a fire fist. Rumble! This special shinobi who rushed over, before he could approach Qin Yi's side, he was bombarded by fire fists, and the whole person flew out backwards, suffered heavy damage, fell a few meters away, and his body rolled several times before gradually stabilizing. Although this special shinobi was not killed with a single blow, he was seriously injured and could not stand up when he fell to the ground, and it was impossible to continue fighting. When the Blood Shadow 6 saw this situation, they couldn't help but be surprised, and they didn't expect that a little furry boy actually had such strength. Moreover, when they saw the Qin Yi attack, they didn't even need to tie the knot, and they could directly launch ninjutsu, which was a demon-level figure to have this ability. Before that, they were still very contemptuous of Qin Yi and did not take him seriously at all, but now, their expressions became solemn, and they did not dare to underestimate each other, and they needed to go all out. Boy, we looked away, we didn't expect your strength to be so strong, but you are a little capable, but it still can't change your fate, you must die. Shangnan, who has a cold face, is not tall, only 1 meter and 6 years old, and has many small scars on his face, looks at Qin Yi and drinks coldly. Tell me so much nonsense and do something, if you have the ability, let the horse over, if one can't work, come too. Qin Yi said indifferently, full of confidence in himself, and had nothing to worry about. He also didn't want to waste time here, so he could quickly end things here so he could go back to Tsunade. Maybe Chiba is not by Tsunade's side and has already lost all the money in his bank card. Thinking of this situation, Qin Yi still felt a little pain in his heart. After all, it was at least more than 20 million, and it would be lost in such a period of time, and no one would be calm. As he spoke, Qin Yi had already made a move, began to run chakra, his hands quickly sealed, and performed the shadow doppelganger technique. 2 shadow doppelgangers who looked the same as him and had the same momentum, appeared beside him, looking at the Blood Shadow 6 people a few meters away, and confronted each other. Let me torture these rookies. In front of me, still want to resist, what a stupid person, tremble mortal. After all, the shadow avatar carries some of the character of the Buddha figure, so after appearing, he immediately shouted at the Blood Shadow 6, which was really very arrogant, even more arrogant than the Qin Yi Buddha figure. Hearing such arrogant words from the 2 shadow doppelgangers, Qin Yi was a little speechless, feeling that these 2 shadow doppelgangers were strange, and they wanted to pretend that they didn't know them. Now, there are already 3 people on Qin Yi's side, and their strength is not weak, and there is absolutely no problem in competing with the 6 people of Blood Shadow. Don't think that you can shadow the art of Avatar, you are our opponent. A special shinobu spoke. Stop talking to him, let's do it together and take him down. Blood Shadow said solemnly, waved his hand, and gave the order. Saying that, he did not hesitate, and was the first to act, rushing forward to Kiamba, and was about to attack. His 5 subordinates did not hesitate, and they all took action, arcing around the city and besieging Chiba, not allowing Kinyi to escape easily. Seeing the Blood Shadow 6 attacking, Kinyi did not hesitate, roared, and the 3 people rushed out, attacking each other, setting off a fierce battle. Kinyi did not intend to directly fight the Blood Shadow, but let a Shadow Avatar deal with the Blood Shadow, and his Shadow Avatar to entangle the 2 upper shinobi, and his Buddha figure went to deal with the 3 special upper shinobi. At the moment of starting, Kinyi could clearly see that the strength of those 3 special upper ninja was not strong. It could be said that it was only a little stronger than the middle ninja, and it could not be compared with the middle ninja who opened the hanging. With Kinyi's current strength, it is not a problem at all to easily defeat 3 special superior ninja of this level, and there is no pressure to crush. Therefore, Kinyi will plan to start with the weaker ninja first, so that the battle will be easier and save more time. Chiba's 2 shadow doppelgangers rushed towards Blood Shadow Yashira, and the other 2 Kami Shinobi, while the Buddha figure faced the 3 special Kami Shinobi. He directly launched the shaving, the speed was very fast, almost in the blink of an eye, and he came to a special upper shinobi, and the fire fist immediately blasted out. The power was very powerful, like a fierce beast pounce. The fire fist bombarded the past special upper ninja, originally rushed towards Chiba, but before he could run the chakra and perform ninjutsu, he saw Chiba appear, and the fire fist roared, and it was about to drown him. Seeing such a situation, this one was particularly shocked, panicked in his heart, and wanted to dodge to the right to avoid the attack of the fire fist. Rumble! The fire fist blasted out, drowning this special superior ninja in it, like a giant beast devouring him, carrying out strong damage, so that he had no way to resist, and he didn't even have a chance to defend, and was immediately killed by the fire fist. When his body flew out upside down, landed on the ground a few meters away, and kept rolling a few times, before stopping, it was just a charred body, without the slightest bit of life. A particularly superior forbearance, under Kinyi's strong attack, he couldn't even carry around, and was directly killed, but he couldn't let out a scream. The other 2 were particularly shinobi, affected by the fire fist, and originally wanted to approach Chiba, but they were shocked out, and under some influence, even chakra became disordered. When they saw a partner being bombarded and killed like this, they didn't even have the ability to resist at all, and they couldn't help but be frightened and inexplicable, feeling extremely surprised, and unable to calm down. They were still very young in Kinyi before, and they didn't pay much attention to it, feeling that even if they couldn't win Chiba alone, but if the weak people joined forces, if they wanted to defeat Kinyi, it was not a problem at all, and they could easily do it. However, seeing Kinyi's fire fist, he defeated a partner and easily wiped it out, making them panic, looking very uneasy, and had no confidence to confront Chiba, did not dare to confront Chiba, and wanted to withdraw backwards, open the distance, and stay away from Kinyi. They knew that even if the 2 joined forces, they could not compete with Chiba, and only the 3 upper shinobi of Blood Shadow Yasha could be Chiba's opponent and defeat Chiba. What they have to do now is not to fight Kinyi hard, but to withdraw backwards and find a way to deal with Kinyi. Seeing that the 2 special shinobi withdrew backwards, and left a short distance, and wanted to cast a ninjutsu attack, Kinyi understood that the other party wanted to maneuver, delay Zuta, and wait for the Blood Shadow to come and support. If you want to delay time, you don't have that ability. Kinyi said coldly, his body moved rapidly, almost flashing close to the other party, launching a sharp attack. Kinyi rushed over, holding the snow in his right hand, approaching a special shinobi, suppressing the opponent with physical skills, and launching a rapid attack. This particular thing that is entangled in Kinyi is not good at physical skills, the best is still illusion, and if it is against the flesh, it is not Kinyi's opponent at all. This sticker hurt people and retreated continuously, and after withstanding 10 attacks, he was able to resist, and was swept by Chiba with Arashi's foot, and blasted out, and it is estimated that several ribs were kicked and broken as Kinyi kicked a special shinobi out. His body did not pause, but quickly moved forward, launched a shave, and approached the opponent, the snow in his hand. Burst! The body of the special shinobu was pierced, even the heart was pierced, and blood splashed out, like spring water gushing out, staining the battle uniform red. The remaining one was particularly Shinobi, who was originally forced to retreat by Chiba, and seeing that Kinyi showed great strength, suppressed the other party, did not dare to come to fight at all, withdrew backwards, turned and fled. Since both died too, you don't want to escape. Kinyi opened his mouth and said, as if it was a ghost, "Ice cubes, 2 spears." Kinyi rushed over continuously, this time not to launch the burning fruit, but the frozen fruit, in the space in front of him, condensed into 5 ice spears, quickly attacked the past, and attacked the back heart of the fleeing special Shangren. Still a dull sound sounded, and an ice spear pierced through the body of the special tolerant, pinned him to the ground, and then fell down, blood spraying out. Suffering such an attack, this special superior forbearance basically cannot live, and will inevitably fall here. It didn't take long for Kinyi to wipe out the 3 special upper ninjas, who could pull away and deal with the 2 upper ninja subordinates of those blood shadows. After the joint efforts of the two upper shinobi, Kinyi's shadow doppelganger could not resist, and had already been defeated, turning into a wisp of white smoke and collapsing. However, Kinyi has now killed the three special shinobi. Even if the shadow doppelganger is defeated, it is nothing to him, it does not matter. Kinyi's left hand lifted up, activated the surgical fruit, and condensed a semicircular space on the palm. In the next instant, Kinyi's left hand flipped, spreading out the space of this hemisphere, quickly enveloping this place, and shrouding all the people in the battle in space. The three of Blood Shadow could feel that there seemed to be a force sweeping through the body, forming a strange space, but they were not harmed, and although there was some surprise in their hearts, they did not pay much attention to it. If we go up together, we can definitely beat him. A shinobi spoke. Seeing that Kinyi killed three special shinobi, and severely injured one special Shangnan, the two Shangnan were angry in their hearts, wanting to unload Kinyi into 8 pieces, slowly torturing him, making him worse than dead, and avenging the 3 dead partners. Although the Blood Shadow 7 are the high-ranking members of the criminal group, they are born into death with each other, have experienced countless battles, and have a deep friendship with each other, like brothers. Now, when they see their brother being killed, where they can calm down, their hearts are raging with anger, and it is difficult to calm down, and they want to avenge their partners. He must use his head to pay homage to his dead brother. The other one shouted. They knew that Kinyi's strength was good, so when they rushed over, they did not hesitate in the slightest, and they had already run the chakra, sealed their hands, and launched a ninjutsu attack. Shangnan launched a ninjutsu attack, his hands were sealed, and chakra erupted from his mouth, which immediately evolved into lightning and flames, blended together, and blasted towards Kinyi. The speed was fast, and the power was equally good. Wind escaped fierce wind palm. Another Shangnan rushed over, concentrated the wind attribute chakra on his right hand, and blasted out with his palm, and also burst out with a good power, causing the space in front of him to vibrate, emitting a roar. Facing the joint attack of the two upper ninjas, Kinyi did not hesitate, waved his right hand, and launched the frozen fruit. Violent pheasant beak. Suddenly, as his right fist swung, the ice cube quickly looked out of his eyes, forming a huge ice bird, which faced the attacks of the two upper shinobi, completely blocking their attacks. Thundered. The powerful forces collided together, the flames teased, and the fierce wind palm bombarded the iceberg, which could not defeat the iceberg, but only slightly melted the ice, and it was far from hurting Kinyi. After Kinyi burst out of the violent pheasant mouth, his body had already disappeared from the place, and by the time the two Shangnan rushed over, Kinyi's figure could no longer be seen. The two upper ninja didn't see Kinyi, and they couldn't help but be shocked, looking left and right, but still couldn't find that Kinyi seemed to disappear out of thin air, making them very uncalm. The strength displayed by Kinyi is not only powerful, but also strange, making it difficult for them to figure it out, and they feel that they have never understood, so they are uneasy and a little apprehensive. Where did that kid go? It's time to run away. A shinobi spoke. Although he said so, he did not dare to relax, but remained vigilant and maintained a state of fighting at any time. He won't run away so easily, continue to look for it, can't be careless. The other man spoke. At this time, the Blood Shadow Yashiro, who was fighting in the distance, finally defeated Kinyi's shadow doppelganger, and blood chi appeared around him, and the momentum was very powerful, which looked strange. After solving Chiba's shadow doppelganger, Yashiro did not hesitate and was ready to rush over and join the two upper shinobi. He felt that as long as the three of them joined forces, they would definitely be able to defeat Kinyi, and Kinyi did not dare to be so arrogant. Just as he was about to rush over, he saw that among the ice blocks that had originally fallen to the ground, several ice cubes squirmed and gradually condensed into a figure. Yashiluo was not stupid. Seeing the ice cube forming a figure, he immediately realized that this was the Chiba that the two subordinates were looking for, and before he used strange means, he fused with the ice cube to become one, and appeared behind the two upper shinobi. Be careful, he's behind you. Yashiluo opened his mouth to remind. He is now considered to have lost 4 brothers, but he doesn't want something to happen, otherwise even if he can avoid this calamity, there will be no way for the Blood Shadow criminal group to mix in the future, and it will inevitably suffer from other forces and make the group collapse. Thinking of this situation, Yashiro did not accept it, and there was reluctance and anger in his heart. Hearing Yashiro's reminder, the two Shangnan were stunned, couldn't believe it, quickly turned around, and really saw that Chiba's body was condensing from ice cubes. Oh, it's late. Kinyi said coldly, his voice was cold, without the slightest emotion. In the next instant, he had already drawn out the demon knife and cried, launched the surgical fruit, condensed the laser on the blade, and then slashed forward, sending out a stream of sword chi and attacking the two upper ninjas. Slaughterhouse. As the sword chi attacked out, the laser accompanied by the surgical fruit fell on the half position of the two upper shinobi, and did not cause serious damage. However, as the sword chi passed, the bodies of the two upper shinobi separated, originally dodging to both sides, bypassing Kinyi, only with their feet forward, and their upper bodies rushed forward with the momentum and fell to the ground. Within the space of this hemisphere, their bodies are cut, and they do not bleed or feel pain, but because of such things, they will temporarily lose their ability to move, making their bodies unable to adapt. If you can put your body back together, it's okay to continue moving and fighting. How so? Why is his ability so weird? N.A.N was surprised in his heart, and sighed and said, he really couldn't understand what kind of ninjutsu this was. The dying don't know too much. Kinyi held the ghost cry in his hand, exerted strength under his feet, and instantly came to the two upper shinobi. Although the bodies of the two upper shinobi were cut into two and the upper and lower bodies were separated, they were not harmed and could still continue to move, but they were surprised at the moment and couldn't react for a while. Seeing Kinyi approaching, the two N.A.N didn't want to sit still and wanted to dodge. They tried it and found that the body could still move, so they didn't hesitate and wanted to stay away from Chiba. It's just that where will Kinyi give them a chance? Frozen moment capsule. Kinyi's left hand reached out, the cold and ice aura spread out, and a shock wave spread out, shrouding the two upper shinobi, making their bodies immediately stiffen, and soon turned into ice balls, unable to move, unable to break free, and could only be slaughtered by Kinyi. You smelly boy, hurry up and release them, otherwise, I will make you live better than die. Yashira, who was shrouded in blood, quickly rushed over and roared, appearing very angry, and was already in a violent state. You don't have this ability yet, Kinyi said playfully, not having the slightest fear at all. As he spoke, he waved the ghost cry in his right hand and struck the ice with the back of his knife, sending out a force that crushed the ice that sealed the two upper shinobi. As the ice was shattered, the two frozen N.A.N could not be spared at all, and their bodies shattered with the ice and scattered on the ground, and even blood could not flow out. Even, they still maintained a look of trepidation on their faces, and died in this state. Seeing his two brothers with his own eyes, their bodies like ice cubes, shattered into many fragments, Yashaluo simply couldn't accept it, and let out an angry roar, like a mad beast, unscrupulous, rushed towards Chiba, ran chakra, quickly sealed his hands, and launched a rapid attack. Facing the violent blood shadow Yashaluo, Kinyi still looked relaxed, without the slightest trepidation, and even showed a look of contempt. It would take a little time for him to deal with the two Shino before, but against Yashira, he didn't even need that little time. I'm afraid he could end the battle in an instant. Blood's secret art blood sword. Blood shadow Yashaluo rushed over, his hands were sealed, and the blood chi around his body reversed, gathering in front of him, and as the seal was completed, it evolved into three blood swords, attacking out horizontally and horizontally, directly hitting Kinyi, extremely fast, and the power was not bad. The secret art performed by Yashira, although it is not ninjutsu, but the interest is similar, and it needs to run chakra. However, to perform such a secret technique, he needs to add his own blood chi, and he needs to draw blood out and evolve into blood chi in order to perform the blood secret technique. Moreover, if he performs such a blood secret technique, it is equivalent to a 7-wounded fist, and if he wants to hurt others first, it will shorten his lifespan, and if he casts more times, it will cost him his life. At this time, seeing his brother being killed by Kinyi one after another, Yashaluo could not tolerate it, and he was angry in his heart, wanting to kill Chiba and crush the corpse to avenge his dead brother. Seeing the three blood swords attacking fiercely, Kinyi didn't even have the idea of dodging, and directly rushed over to meet the blood swords. Seeing such a situation, even Yashaluo was shocked, thinking that Kinyi was stupid, and actually bumped into the blood sword himself. Isn't this looking for death? It's just that when Kinyi rushed to the blood sword, his body immediately turned into flames, allowing the blood sword to rush over, piercing his body, completely immune to the attack, and did not suffer the slightest damage. Kinyi rushed over, as if the devil had descended, approaching Yashira, still holding the demon knife in his right hand and crying, shrouded in a layer of laser, flashing with cold light. Port! Kinyi held the ghost cry in his right hand and stabbed straight forward, pointing at the heart of Yashiro. He did not want to penetrate Yashira's body and heart, but only to transplant Yashira's heart into his body. In the next instant, Yashira's heart flew out from behind him, wrapped in a membrane, still beating vigorously, and was not harmed. Chiba moved his body and quickly came behind Yashira, holding the latter's heart in his hand and pinching it slightly. As his heart was held by Chiba, Yashiro felt a sharp pain in his body, and he was weak, fell to the ground, and spewed out a mouthful of blood. Now, Yashiro's heart fell into Chiba's hands, which is equivalent to his life falling into his hands. As long as he is happy and easily crushes Yashiro's heart, Yashira's life can be easily ended. Yashiro fell to the ground, feeling a sharp pain. It was difficult to stand up, and his body was very uncomfortable. Kinyi also planned to kill Luo directly, which would be a pity. What kind of monster are you? All kinds of abilities are actually such as. Yashaluo gasped for a moment before feeling better, turned around, looked at Chiba who held his heart, and said, incredible. He finally realized now that Kinyi was an absolute existence, and if he was an enemy, he would probably be like a nightmare, and he would have trouble sleeping. Hee, you don't need to know this. Kinyi spoke, not intending to explain too much, nor did he have that leisure. I am now in your hands, you kill me, let me go and reunite with my brother. Yasha Luo said, but he was a little spineless and did not ask for mercy. It had come to this point, Yasha Luo knew in his heart that begging for mercy had no effect at all, and it was impossible for Kinyi to let him go, so he was too lazy to beg for mercy, and it was better to die like a man. Wandering around in a neutral place, doing countless evil things, staining his hands with countless blood, and destroying countless families, Yashara has long known that he will not have a good end, and this day will come sooner or later. However, he still did not expect that what made him go to death was a little furry child, which was an unexpected and unacceptable thing. Hey, sooner or later you're going to die, you don't have to rush for a while, Kinyi said playfully, not in a hurry for this time. He's going to bring this gift to Tsunade. Kinyi took Yashira's heart and walked towards the special shinobu who was the first to move before and was seriously injured by Chiba. Until now, special shinobu still can't stand up, although he has not passed out, but he has lost his mobility, his clothes are burned, and many parts of his body are burned, making painful sounds. I'll help you get free, Kinyi said. Without waiting for Special Shangnan to respond, he condensed an ice sword, pierced the opponent's throat, and let the blood gush out, ending this Special Shangnan's life. Such a fierce battle in front of the gate of the headquarters of the Blood Shadow Criminal Group is bound to attract the attention of many members. These members originally gathered to see the 7 people of Yasha Luo kill Chiba, but they did not expect that the result would be like this, and all 7 of Yasha Luo were defeated and crushed by Chiba. Seeing that the situation was not right, after the 7 Yashiro were defeated, these gathered members immediately became panicked, and did not want to put their lives here, so they did not dare to stay here, and they all retreated and fled here. By now, the headquarters of the Blood Shadow Criminal Group has long been empty, and no one has stayed here, doing birds and beasts scattered, and each escaping for his life. After this happens, the Blood Shadow Criminal Group will collapse, and other forces will definitely attack it en masse. Even if Kinyi no longer does anything, it will be difficult for this criminal group to maintain. Chiba no longer entered the headquarters of the Blood Shadow Crime Group and turned and walked towards the hotel, leaving Yasha in place. Anyway, Chiba holds Yashira's heart, even if he goes to the ends of the earth, as long as he crushes the latter's heart hard, Yasha Luo will lose his life. Looking at the figure of Chiba leaving, Yasha Luo stood up from the ground, his eyes kept changing, and he even wanted to rush over, sneak up on Chiba and regain his heart. However, his heart fell into Kinyi's hands. As long as Kinyi pinched his heart hard, it would be extremely painful, his body was in severe pain, and without the slightest strength, he could not fight at all, let alone sneak attack. In the end, Yashiro still did not act, standing in place, watching Kinyi walk away, and he was hidden in the darkness. What else he can do is bury his 6 brothers and wait for death to come, waiting for the end of his life. Half an hour later, Chiba returned to the hotel where he was staying. Fortunately the lights in Tsunade's room were on, otherwise he would have thought that Tsunade had entered a state of madness when gambling money in the casino, and he was out of control at all, and he would have to lose all the money before returning. Sister Tsunade, I'm back. Chiba walked outside Tsunade's room door and knocked on the door, and spoke. I'm coming. Tsunade heard Chiba's voice and immediately answered, and walked over to open the door. As the door opened, Chiba saw Tsunade, who had shaggy hair and a lazy expression, appear in front of her, and felt that she was very attractive. Is it hurt? It's been so long. Seeing Chiba return, Tsunade was slightly relieved, and he was still a little worried in his heart. I'm fine, those people alone want to hurt me, but it's not that simple. Kinyi shook his head and said, still as confident as ever. Then you explained your things, and you finished? Tsunade asked, a little surprised in his heart. Regarding the strength of the Blood Shadow 7, Tsunade has heard a lot and knows that the strength of these people is very strong, and it is not a simple matter to defeat the Blood Shadow 7. After all, Yashira's blood secret technique is very weird, and the combat power is extremely powerful, and if you want to deal with it, it will be tricky. That's of course, the things that Tsunade's sister explained, no matter what, must be completed. Kinyi nodded and said, appearing very relaxed. You little fellow, you are really powerful, you can actually defeat the Blood Shadow 7, it is really getting stronger and stronger. Tsunade sighed and said, looking at Chiba's eyes like a monster. As he spoke, Chiba entered Tsunade's room and, without politeness, sat on her bed. Sister Tsunade, I brought you a gift back. Kinyi remembered this and spoke. You guy just went to kill people, and you can bring me back gifts, won't it be the whole thing? Tsunade looked at Chiba with a curious look and spoke. I think of you in my heart, so naturally I remember to bring you a gift. Kinyi said with a smile. What's that? Show me. Tsunade spoke, already a little impatient. Chiba did not hesitate, took the heart he brought out from behind and presented it in front of Tsunade. Seeing Chiba take it out and have a heart beating frequently, Tsunade's eyes widened and he couldn't believe it. How did you do that? Tsunade asked, really unable to calm down, almost exclaiming. Tsunade knew that this heart was still alive and had not lost its life. It was too weird, and it required a strange ability to be able to remove a person's heart and stay alive without letting the heart die. This is my ability to follow the blood limit, which can take off the opponent's heart without letting the opponent die, and continue to maintain vitality. Qin opened his mouth and said, just an understatement, and did not explain too much, so as not to have loopholes himself. It's really terrifying strength. Tsunade sighed and said, a little difficult to calm down. If you have this ability, it is really a death-like existence, which can control the life and death of others. Thinking about the horror of this ability, Tsunade is afraid, thinking that what kind of existence Chiba will achieve in the future. I am afraid that it will be a character like the god of death. Sister Tsunade, this is Yasha's heart, what are you going to do with him now? Chiba asked, wanting to see Tsunade's opinion. I don't have any good feelings for this kind of person, and keeping his life will only let him continue to harm people or erase it. Tsunade opened his mouth and said, there is no mercy for people like Yashara, and if he dies, he will die. Then I'll fix him. Qin said softly, there was no pressure to do this kind of thing. As he spoke, the right hand holding Yashara's heart was already slowly permeating with a trace of cold air, and cold ice began to form, freezing the heart and forming ice cubes. With his heart frozen into ice, Yashara, who was more than 10 kilometers away, had just buried his 6 companions and sat next to the grave, just gasping for 2 minutes. Not long after he sat down, he felt a chill in his heart, which quickly hit him, making him feel extremely cold, trembling, and extremely painful, and it was difficult to speak. Chiba froze Yashara's heart, then walked to the window, threw the frozen heart out and fell into space. Immediately afterwards, Qin condensed another ice cube and accurately hit the frozen heart. Duh! As the ice hit the heart, it immediately shattered the heart, turning into countless ice particles and falling to the ground. Yashara's heart was shattered, so that Yashara could not be spared at all, fell to the ground, his body convulsed, and completely killed. Until this moment, the famous blood shadow Yashaluo in Yangming City fell and was removed from Yangming City from then on. Bite. The host completes the task, rewards 20,000 points, and obtains a sword technique, Bird. The voice of the One Piece system sounded, issuing rewards to Chiba. Receiving these rewards, Chiba's mood was very good, and a smile appeared on his face. After solving Yashara, Chiba had no other emotions, would not pity, and turned back to Tsunade. Sister Tsunade, I have met your conditions, you can't refuse now, you have to teach me medical ninjutsu, Qin said with a smile. Being able to learn medical ninjutsu makes Chiba's mood very much looking forward to it, and he can't wait. Since you have met the conditions, of course I will teach you medical ninjutsu, and you can also provide me with a lot of gambling funds in the future. Tsunade said with a smile, no longer pushing and refusing, and agreed. Okay, then we'll start tomorrow. Chiba nodded and said, by the way, Sister Tsunade, after you go to the casino today, how is the effect? Speaking of the casino, the smile on Tsunade's face converged a lot, revealing a hint of embarrassment, reaching out and touching his fair cheek, looking embarrassed. A little bit lost. Tsunade spoke, obviously lacking confidence. You should have lost a lot, honestly. Chiba squinted and looked at Tsunade. There are not many, just over 10 million. Tsunade giggled, not embarrassed. Hearing Tsunade say this, he only lost more than 10 million, and Qin almost vomited out a mouthful of old blood, which was really helpless. Tsunade Kai is really a loser, actually lost more than 10 million in this way. If you take it to do other things, you can do a lot of things. Sister Tsunade, you are really a loser. Qin was really a little unsure, and sighed and said, wherever, I'm very virtuous. Tsunade said embarrassedly. Chiba felt that the word virtuous when used on Tsunade was really untouchable, separated by 108,000 li. Well, Tsunade's sister is the most virtuous, and if she loses her money, it's a big deal to earn it back. Qin opened his mouth and said, there is no way. It should be like this, otherwise I can't concentrate on asking you to learn medical ninjutsu. Tsunade giggled, and his mood became very good, with a bright smile. It's not too early now, you go back early to rest, and tomorrow I will start teaching you medical ninjutsu. Tsunade spoke. Chiba didn't linger, left Tsunade's room, returned to his room, took a simple shower, and went to sleep. The next day, Chiba and Tsunade began to practice medical ninjutsu. For medical ninjutsu, Qin is still very serious and wants to master more and improve his ninjutsu. According to the development of the plot, as long as it takes more than 2 years, the Third Ninja World War will begin, and one don't know how many people will die because of it. As long as Chiba can master medical ninjutsu, then with the ability of surgical fruits, it can play a great role in saving many ninjas in need. Of course, Chiba learns medical ninjutsu, and the main thing he wants is to heal his injuries, as well as to treat the people around him and reduce the harm of the people around him. Tsunade taught Chiba medical ninjutsu for the first time, not with real samples, not directly in practice, but on many principles, as well as explaining the structure of the human body, as well as medical principles. Learning medical ninjutsu is such a thing, you can't be frivolous, there is no way to be in a hurry, you must be gradual, otherwise, there will be various problems. Kinyi can understand this, so he studies patiently and does not feel the slightest impatience. Moreover, his learning ability is very strong and fast, and it only took half a month to complete the basic knowledge of medical ninjutsu and begin to enter the practical stage. Because Tsunade has a fear of hemophobia, there is still no customer service problem, so he can't carry out practical exercises, so he can only teach the basics to Chiba and let him try it himself. In a chaotic place like Yangming City, there will be countless wounded people who need to be treated every day. Kinyi wants to find some free practice objects. There is no problem at all. As long as he says that he is a doctor, there will be many people who take the initiative to seek medical treatment and let him treat. Although Chiba has initially mastered medical ninjutsu, the ability of surgical fruits to defy the sky has made his medical skills superb and can shorten the learning time. Moreover, the medicine that Chiba has learned can be applied to the body of a living person, so that he can be verified, which is still of great help to him in improving medical ninjutsu. Chiba studied ninjutsu with Tsunade, and Tsunade's life was very relaxed, and there were a lot of gambling funds every day. Moreover, she only taught Chiba medical ninjutsu before the afternoon, and after the afternoon, she went to various casinos in Yangming City to gamble. If Chiba relaxes and follows Tsunade to the casino, she can win a lot of money, but if she goes alone, she will only lose money, and basically return the won money to the casino. Chiba is not the master who cares about money. Although Tsunade loses money, he does not complain. If Tsunade does not have gambling funds, he will fund a lot. It can be said that thanks to Chiba's blessing, Tsunade has lived a very moist life during this time, and there is no need to worry about gambling funds. In order to master medical ninjutsu more deeply, Kinyi can be regarded as spending a lot of time and effort, staying in Yangming City for half a year, delving into medical ninjutsu, developing the ability of surgical fruits, combining these two abilities to improve his medical ability. Tsunade can be said to be an irresponsible teacher, teaching Chiba to cultivate medical ninjutsu. Just to illustrate some truths, out of thin air, because of the fear of blood, she has not conducted physical exercises, completely relying on Chiba's ability to explore. As long as Chiba said that he basically mastered medical ninjutsu and did not need to learn from her again, Tsunade would stop teaching and could completely relax and continue his life at his original pace. Tsunade was originally trying to avoid some things, so he would leave Konoha village, wander around, gamble everywhere, and just don't want to take responsibility, so there is nothing to do, but for her, it is a very good thing. Chiba, you have mastered a lot of medical ninjutsu now, right? Tsunade stood by the lake, standing against the wind, letting the breeze ruffle the ends of her hair, revealing her fair neck, and looking into the distance. Well, it's almost, I will teach everything, combined with my own blood succession limit, the effect is still very good. Kinyi nodded and said, revealing a bright smile. It seems that you can already become a teacher. Tsunade spoke, with an exclamation. Teaching Chiba medical ninjutsu, and seeing Chiba's rapid progress and achievements against the sky, Tsunade was a little excited and very relieved in his heart. Chiba can achieve good results just by following Tsunade to learn medical ninjutsu for a year, and he can heal many patients, and he has successfully reached 90%, which is already a very evil and cannot be achieved by others. After all, medical ninjutsu is not simple, even more difficult than cultivating ninjutsu. It requires good patience, and it must be very careful and not frizzy. An 8-year-old kid, at such an age, shows the calmness that an adult should have, and has the ability to learn quickly, which is very rare. Seeing that Chiba had achieved excellent results and was already able to become a teacher, Tsunade was happy about this and proud of Chiba. Tsunade was originally a medical ninja, but various things happened to her, so that she had a fear of blood, could not see blood, could not treat the vast majority of people, and she was helpless in her heart. Now, Chiba can master medical ninjutsu. For Tsunade, it can be regarded as inheriting her mantle. Finally did not let her medical ninjutsu go to waste. If there is a war in the future, Chiba can play a great role and can save many ninjas. You can teach your medical ninjutsu, basically already taught you, you can become a teacher, and the road in the future will depend on you. Tsunade turned around, looked at Chiba, and said calmly, his eyes shining with expectation. She felt that Chiba's future achievements would definitely be much higher than herself, reaching heights that she could not reach, and she looked forward to that day. Sister Tsunade, you won't teach me medical ninjutsu. Hearing Tsunade's words, Chiba felt a little sad, perhaps helpless to part. Since Tsunade said this, then he must have planned to leave Yangming City and did not intend to continue to stay here. After all, Tsunade had been staying in Yangming City for more than half a year, and if it weren't for teaching Chiba unexpected ninjutsu, she might have left long ago and gone somewhere else. In fact, the three shinobi of Konoha have a common characteristic, that is, they don't like to stay in Konoha, and they like to walk everywhere in the ninja world, but their respective purposes are different. You've learned everything I know, what else can I teach you? Tsunade said helplessly, besides, I'm going to leave here too, I've been here for too long. Where is Tsunade-san going? Chiba asked, knowing that he couldn't keep Tsunade, so he didn't say any other nonsense. Anyway, it's not Yangming City and Konoha, you can go anywhere. Tsunade shrugged his shoulders and spoke, causing the Snow White in front of Xiong to tremble, forming a beautiful landscape. By the way, where do you plan to go next? Should you stay in Yangming City all the time? Tsunade remembered this and asked Chiba about his whereabouts. I plan to go to the Land of Rain and go there to experience. It is said that it is still very chaotic, and small wars often break out, which is just right for me to experience and improve my strength. Kinyi did not hide it and said his purpose. Half a year ago, Chiba planned to go to the Land of Rain, but he met Tsunade in Yangmei City and stayed to learn medical ninjutsu. Moreover, the Rain Country Yuxiao organization, according to the time calculation, should be in a period of vigorous development. If Chiba goes to the Land of Rain, he may be able to become a member of the Xiao organization, mix with an elder, and call the wind and rain. You guy, now you are only 8 years old, the strength is so terrifying. If you give you a few more years of training, wouldn't it reach the shadow level? Even I can't compare to you. Tsunade gave Chiba a blank look and spoke. However, she really hopes that Kinyi will become stronger and reach the level of a shadow-level powerhouse. In this era where war may break out at any time, only with great strength can you survive on the battlefield and protect the people around you. The Thousand Hands rope tree is not strong enough, and finally dies on the battlefield. Seeing Chiba at this age, Tsunade sometimes can't help but think of the rope tree, so he hopes that Chiba will become stronger, and definitely doesn't want him to die on the battlefield in the end. As long as you become stronger, you will have the ability to protect your sister, prevent your sister from being hurt, and protect more people. Kinyi spoke, looking confident. You guy, you're still so talkative. He was very satisfied with yeah, by the way, I have something for you. As she spoke, she threw an arc out of a scroll she had been holding and fell into Kinyi's hands. This is a psychic art. I see that you don't have a psychic beast yet. I plan to let you sign a psychic contract with my psychic beast slug. If you want to transmit information to me in the future, you can also pass through the slug. It will be much more convenient. Tsunade spoke. Hearing Tsunade say this, Chiba was a little touched in her heart, and she originally planned to ask her personally for the psychic scroll of the slug, but unexpectedly, Tsunade took the initiative to bring it up. It's great. I heard that Tsunade's sister's psychic beast is a rare medical slug, and if it goes to war in the future, it can play a strong role. Kinyi said happily. Among the psychic beasts of Kana has 3 shinobi, the slug's combat effectiveness is the weakest, but the medical effect is the strongest, and it can play a pivotal role when it comes to the battlefield. In my state, it is difficult to go to the battlefield again, so if you use slugs, the effect will be much better than mine. Tsunade sighed and said, but he didn't want the ability of slugs to be buried by him in vain. As he spoke, Tsunade bit his fingers, stained with blood, and quickly sealed his hands, completing the psychic seal. Although Tsunade has a fear of blood, it is still not a big deal to see her own blood, otherwise, her aunt who comes a few days a month will not take her life. After the seal was completed, Tsunade pressed his hands on the ground, and a psychic formation with complicated runes quickly appeared on the ground, entering chakra into the formation. Boom! With a soft sound, a huge body, like a hill, with a wet body, a blue back, and a white belly area, looking cute and a little cute. Tsunade, you summoned me over, is there something wrong? A nice woman's voice came from the slug's body. The body of the slug's body is in the wet bone forest, and it is a whole, and what Tsunade is summoning now is only a part of the slug's body. The more chakras used to summon slugs, the larger psychic beasts can be summoned, which is the difference between slugs and the 10,000 snakes and toads, which is completely the strength of the contractor. Lord Slug, I want you to sign a psychic contract with Chiba, and you can help him more in the future. Tsunade did not hide it and said it truthfully. Since it was recommended by you, there is no problem, just sign the contract. The slugs spoke. Kinyi, quickly open the ruling contract in your hand, cut your finger, and press a handprint on it with blood. Seeing that the slugs agreed to come down, Tsunade did not hesitate and immediately urged Chiba. Kinyi answered, and immediately took action, opened the scroll in his hand, bit his finger, and pressed a handprint on the scroll with blood. After Kinyi pressed the handprint, the slugs did not hesitate, and from the huge body, a slug, which was very small but palm-sized, fell into the scroll, climbed onto those bloody handprints, and drank a little blood. Immediately afterwards, on the scroll that was originally depicted with complex runes, an invisible force suddenly emitted, which seemed to pull something in the void, forming a kind of contract. Today's 5th change, the growth rate of subscriptions is much slower than yesterday. I don't know if it's because of school, so everyone can't subscribe. Recently, because of the code word, my back is sore, and I am particularly uncomfortable, and I have suffered a crime. I hope to maintain this achievement, and please continue to read and support. Signing a psychic contract with slugs not only means that Kinyi can summon slugs, help him fight, and treat some patients, but also enter immortal mode and practice immortal arts in the future. The combat power of slugs is not very strong, but after entering the immortal mode, the power of the immortal art exerted cannot be underestimated, which will make Kinyi's combat power more powerful. After signing the contract, the slugs did not linger, but made a noise, forming a white smoke and disappearing in front of them. You basically have my skills now. You can't weaken my name in the future. I'm one of the 3 forbearances. You can't let you don't bully, you have to protect yourself. Tsunade looked at Chiba, a certain kind of true emotion. When it was close to parting, it was inevitable that there would be some sadness and some reluctance. Chiba and Tsunade have been getting along for more than half a year, and their feelings are already very heavy, and now it is time to separate, and they are definitely reluctant to each other in their hearts. Sister Tsunade, with my strength, who can bully me, I will definitely not weaken your name and prove my strength. Kinyi nodded and said, also with reluctance in his heart. Chiba made up her mind in her heart to protect Tsunade in the future and not let her get hurt. Good boy, you shouldn't bear the old lady and cry your nose in front of me. Tsunade looked at Chiba and spoke, a good-looking smile on his face. How come? I am a strong man, and men do not flick tears, Chiba said seriously, denying Tsunade's statement. In the next moment, Kinyi was embraced by a warm embrace, taken into his arms, and rubbed on a certain snow-white plumpness, and could feel the delicate touch. Tsunade stretched out his hand and hugged Chiba. His eyes were a little moist, and he was a little reluctant to Chiba in his heart, and he couldn't bear to part. Little Kinyi, no matter what difficulties you encounter in the future, you must save your life, you can't die on the battlefield, give your sister a good life, and promise me. Tsunade held Chiba in his hand and spoke, his voice a little choked and a little hoarse. Tsunade didn't want something to happen to Chiba, whether it was on the battlefield or somewhere else, and hoped that he would be alive. Don't worry, sister, no one can kill me, I'm very strong. Kinyi was slightly silent, and then spoke, his tone was firm. He didn't break free from Tsunade's hand, just let her hold him, and the two stood by the lake, silent with each other, enjoying this quiet time. After a few minutes, Tsunade let go of Chiba, did not linger, and turned, and walked towards the distance, leaving Chiba with a back. At the moment she turned around, tears welled up in her eyes, and finally she couldn't help it, and they came out of her eyes and flowed down her cheeks. Remember my words, take good care of yourself, and live well, otherwise I want you to look good. Tsunade's calm voice floated from not far away. Chiba looked at Tsunade's back, watched her gradually stop speaking, and fell silent. The moment of parting is coming after all. Chiba stood in place, looked in the direction Tsunade left, stayed for 10 minutes, then turned around and walked towards the center of Yangming City. Before leaving the chaotic place of Yangming City, Kinyi still had one more thing to do, that is, to deal with N.A.N. Casino. Half a year ago, N.A.N. Casino sent 3 Shangnin to deal with Chiba, wanting to wipe him out, recover the loss of the casino, and restore its prestige. It's just that of the 3 Shangnin sent by N.A.N. Casino, 2 of them were killed by Kinyi, and only 1 Tadeo Shangnin was able to escape. Since that incident, the high level of N.A.N. Casino was jealous in their hearts and did not dare to come to Kinyi's trouble. And Kinyi has been learning medical ninjutsu for half a year, but when he has no special leisure, he has no trouble going to N.A.N. Casino. However, Chiba did not take revenge on N.A.N. Casino, which does not mean that he forgot about this matter, but he has always remembered it in his heart. Now, he is finally leaving Yangming City, and some grudges are time to be resolved, otherwise, he will be very unhappy in his heart. Besides, those who have offended Chiba must pay the price, give them a lesson that will never be forgotten, or let them go to hell with trepidation. 10 minutes later, Chiba, who had silver hair, a handsome face, wearing a combat uniform and carrying 2 long knives, appeared in the center of Yangming City and walked towards the Destiny Casino. In the past half a year, Chiba's height has grown a little taller than his peers, and he doesn't look like an 8-year-old child, but like he is 11 or 12. The age of 11 or 12, in a place like Yangming City, is already a lot of age, and it is almost regarded as an adult. Therefore, when he walked into the N.A.N. Casino, he was not blocked at all and could enter it directly. Half a year passed, because Chiba rarely made sensational things, and as time passed, many people forgot the #1 figure of Chiba and did not have much impression. After all, in a place like Yangming City, half a year is a long time, and it can be used to change the dynasty. Chiba walked all the way to the inside of the Destiny Casino, and was seen by some stewards of the casino, only to recognize him, and couldn't help but be inexplicably panicked and became uneasy. Chiba-sama, what wind is blowing you over? Korita, the master who was originally inspecting the casino, couldn't help but become uneasy after his subordinates informed, did not dare to delay, and immediately walked over to greet Chiba. Although Korita wanted Kinyi to die, he once had an idea to deal with Kinyi, but in front of Kinyi, he did not dare to have the slightest temper, his posture was very low, and he was in awe of Kinyi, more polite than those high-ranking people. Korita knew that Kinyi's strength was very strong, even the 3 upper ninja and the 7 of the blood shadow could easily defeat it, and where did he dare to have a temper, his heart was completely in awe. In Yangming City, there has been no news of Kinyi for a long time, and everyone thought that the constant killing gods at this age had left Yangming City, but they did not expect that now that they appeared in the N.A.N. Casino, this matter would be troublesome. If Kinyi appeared in the N.A.N. Casino, it would mean that nothing good would happen. You know, N.A.N. Casino originally wanted to send a strong person to solve Kinyi, but it didn't succeed. The beams of Kinyi and N.A.N. Casino have long been formed, and they cannot be resolved. The casino guards who followed Korida had heard about Kinyi's deeds and knew that it was a terrifying existence, and they definitely couldn't just look at his appearance. They were very respectful to him, and they all opened their mouths to ask, not daring to have the slightest sense of pride. Even if they are unhappy in their hearts now, they dare not show the slightest, and they must hide it all in their hearts, otherwise they will provoke Kinyi, and the consequences will be serious. Kinyi rolled his gaze and glanced at the few people of Korida, his expression contemptuous, and he did not hide it in the slightest. N.A.N. Casino has been doing good business recently, Kinyi said leisurely, the corners of his mouth slightly upturned, revealing a smile. This is where, it's been a lot deserted lately, Korida said with a smile. He felt that since Kinyi came here, it must be a good thing to be uneasy, and something would definitely be troublesome. When he rushed over, Korida had already arranged for his subordinates to go and inform the casino executives and let them make some preparations, so as not to make trouble here if Kinyi was too arrogant. Although it is said that N.A.N. Casino is more afraid of Kinyi, if it is bullied to the head, it will still be angry and deal with Kinyi. N.A.N. Casino can take root in Yangning City, or in the bustling and lively area of the city center. It must have a strong background, and the forces behind it are very strong, and it can send a stronger existence to deal with Kinyi. In this case, it depends on what Kinyi plans to do, whether he intends to make trouble. If Chiba just has no money recently, then N.A.N. Casino can take out some money even if it loses some money, send Kinyi away, avoid escalating things, and the casino can continue to do business. Bite. The host has a new mission, dismantling the N.A.N. Casino, destroying the casino, rewarding 10,000 points, and sword skills, Urdeo Flow ascending the building, failing the mission, depriving the fruits of surgery. One Piece Fruit has released a mission. Kinyi pondered this task, feeling that the reward he received and the punishment for failure were seriously asymmetrical, but there was no way but to complete this task, otherwise, he would have to lose a lot. I've been in a bit of a hurry lately, so I come to you guys to play a few hands, you won't mind. Kinyi opened his mouth and said, he was not in a hurry, anyway, he had time, and he was not in a hurry for this short meeting. That's naturally welcome, and it's undesirable, Korida said with a smile, appearing very hospitable. In fact, in his heart, it was very unhappy, and he couldn't wait to blast Kinyi away as soon as possible, otherwise, he didn't know how much the casino would lose, and what trouble would be caused. Go and get 500,000 chips for Lord Chiba, Korida said to his subordinates. The subordinates did not dare to slacken, answered, and immediately went to get the chips. Now, Kinyi is in the N.A.N. Casino, like an ant being enshrined, dare not snub the slightest, all with the most thoughtful courtesy, for fear of annoying him. Since someone else gave him chips, Chiba-chi walked directly to the table where he had gambled with Tsunade last time and sat down in his original position. Although Chiba has been to N.A.N. Casino for half a year, there are still many regular customers who remember him and know that he used to be in the casino, but he won tens of millions of money. Now, seeing Chiba coming to the casino again, the regulars of these casinos have become shrewd, and without the slightest hesitation, they want to immediately go to the table where Chiba is and bet with Chiba, so as to ensure that they can make money. They did have an idea, but the people in the casino were not stupid, and when they saw that these people wanted to come, they all stopped them, prevented them from approaching Chiba's gambling table, and drove away the people who were originally gambling money at the gambling table. The people of the casino dare not offend Chiba, but some ordinary customers, they are not afraid at all. It is okay to offend, it is better than letting the casino suffer huge losses. If the casino wants to send money to Chiba, then forget it, and if it wants to send money to these ordinary customers, it is impossible. Although these gamblers who were stopped and rushed back to their original positions, although they were unhappy in their hearts and even a little annoyed, they could only complain twice, and did not dare to do anything, or they could only stand in the distance, watch Kinyi gamble money, and slaughter N.A.N. Casino fiercely. Today, the dealer who presides over this table is no longer the previous youth, but another person. This is a woman with a graceful figure, extremely plump figure, convex and upturned back, excellent skin, fair complexion, red teeth and white teeth, delicate face, good temperament, wearing a loseong tight skirt, a pair of beautiful legs are extremely white, and it is really enchanting. Any normal man who sees such a beautiful woman must have some thoughts in his heart, unable to calm down, and wants to conquer her. I have a different dealer, I look very beautiful. Kinyi looked at the dealer, showed a smile, and spoke, without saying much. Thanks for the compliment, the beautiful dealer said with a smile, and a good-looking smile bloomed on her face, which added to the charm. Soon, the 500,000 chips that N.A.N. Casino gave to Kinyi were sent over and placed on the gambling table in front of him. Beauty, let's start, you have to bless me with more money, otherwise I will run out of money to eat. Chiba looked at the beautiful dealer and spoke, revealing a confident smile. Although his gaze fell on the snow-white position of the beautiful dealer from time to time, he was not disturbed, and he was able to remain calm. The beautiful dealer smiled, did not hesitate, shook the wheel, and then threw 3 dice into the wheel, and with the rotation of the wheel, the points kept changing. Chiba is not in a hurry to bet, anyway, before the roulette speed slows down, you can bet at will. After the dice entered the roulette, Kinyi remained silent, his expression was as usual, and he activated his domineering appearance, perception and speculation about the size of the points. Just rush at you, this pair of Haoru, I think it's big. Chiba looked at the beautiful dealer's Haoru and said with a smile. As he spoke, he did not hesitate and pushed all the 500,000 chips on the gambling table to the area where he bought the big one. Seeing Chiba's unreserved gambling, everyone in the casino was inevitably a little excited, and their eyes fell on the wheel, looking forward to the final result. However, after seeing Kinyi's strength, many people in the casino thought that since Chiba bought big, it would definitely open big, but they couldn't bet, and they couldn't help but feel helpless. 3, 4, 52 points. After the roulette wheel was stationary, the beautiful dealer had not yet announced the result, and there were already gamblers who could not hold back and said it first. Sure enough, there is no mistake, he guessed correctly again. It would be great if we could buy it with him, and we could take the opportunity to win a lot of money and make the casino bleed. Some gamblers standing in the distance talked, unable to calm down, and they all became excited. However, they can only sigh and cannot participate in gambling. Since many gamblers have already helped announce the result, the beautiful dealer is exempt from even announcing the result. It seems that my luck is still very good, so I can guess correctly. Kinyi laughed, and the mood was really good. The beautiful dealer looked at Chiba, still with a smile on her face, and did not say much, launched 500,000 chips from the dealer and pushed them in front of Kinyi. With her movements, her body leaned forward, so that the scenery of her neckline was presented without omission, and it was reflected in Kinyi's eyes. It was a deep snow-white ravine, like a 1,000-meter deep trench, which could make people sink into it and couldn't extricate themselves. Seeing such a scenery, Kinyi was naturally a little excited, and he didn't expect this beautiful dealer to be so material. However, it is impossible to distract him and cause him to lose money by seducing. The beautiful dealer did not speak, her expression was still calm, and she began the second round of gambling. Kinyi looked at the million chips of the gambling table in front of him, did not hesitate or all down, and directly pressed the small. The result of the second round of gambling appeared. 1, 2, 3, 6 points were small, and Chiba naturally won the money, and the gambling capital reached 2 million. In the next gamble, Kinyi still pressed down all the chips, and every time he was able to win, he never lost. At the end of each game, Chiba's solitude was able to double, and by the end of the 5-game game, Chiba's gambling capital had grown to 16 million, and chips were stacked on the table in front of him. When everyone in the casino saw such a situation, they couldn't keep calm, they all became excited, they talked about it, their eyes became hot, and they fell on the gambling funds on the gambling table, hoping that all these chips would fall into their hands. Korita, who was standing on the side watching the gambling, could still remain calm at the beginning, thinking that with the posture of this beautiful dealer, he could completely make Kinyi confused, and it was impossible to win every time. However, after he saw that Kinyi's gambling capital reached 16 million, he finally couldn't keep calm, his face showed cold sweat, and his fat body was trembling. If he has enough strength, he will make a move and blast Chiba out of the casino, preventing Chiba from continuing to win and causing losses in the casino. However, he informed the top level about Chiba's appearance in the casino, hoping that the top level could make a decision and send a stronger existence to defeat Chiba and solve this scourge. What Korita can do now is to let Kinyi continue to win money here, waiting for the high level to send strong people over to deal with the arrogant Kinyi. In fact, Korita waited for the gambling to send the strong over, and why didn't Kinyi wait for the strong to come, and when the time came, kill a few strong people, destroy the Minjian casino, and then fly away? That's what Chiba thinks now, so he doesn't mind spending a little time and winning a little more money to use as a pastime. Let's go ahead, take advantage of the good luck and play a few more rounds. Kinyi spoke, with a smile on his face, not caring about anything else at all, and appearing relaxed and indifferent. On the other hand, the beautiful dealer opposite the gambling table seemed to be unable to calm down, cold sweat, his face turned pale, and his hands trembled uncontrollably. She prides herself on her beauty and charm enough to seduce most men and make them mess around at the gaming table and easily win their chips. She didn't expect that her tried and true means would actually fail in Kinyi. Kinyi often looked at her figure and looked at her snow-white ravine, but she was still very calm, and she didn't mess up, which made her very helpless. That is, she lost her wife and broke the army. The beautiful dealer looked at Korita and wanted to ask for advice on whether to continue, but Korita did not have any special instructions, she could only continue. She has now lost 16 million in bets, which is a large amount, and if Kinyi continues to press and continue to win, it will be 32 million, and the amount will be doubled. Although the psychological quality of the beautiful dealer is good, but after losing so much money, he still has trepidation in his heart, fearing that he will be punished afterwards. Moreover, the beautiful dealer knew that Chiba was powerful, and did not dare to offend Chiba and terminate the gambling casually. The dice fall into the wheel and spin, and the points are constantly changing, not the slightest bit different from before, as if repeating the previous thing all the time. At the beginning of the 6th game, Kinyi closed his eyes slightly, groaned a little, and pushed out 16 million chips, not to buy the size, but to press individual points. I like stimulation the most, see how the luck is this time, press 36S. Kinyi spoke, looking very confident, but his eyes were a little crazy. Rumble. As soon as Kinyi's words came out, the entire casino became a sensation, and everyone here could not calm down, their heartbeats much faster, their eyes widened, staring at the dice that kept rolling in the roulette, looking forward to the final points. Kinyi bought 3 6s alone, and if he guessed correctly and really gave 3 6s, then he would make a lot of money. According to this gambling game, if the dice appear 3 6s, the odds will be 6 times, not simply doubled. If Kinyi really guessed correctly this time, then the bet he pressed on 16 million would be increased 6-fold to 96 million, close to 100 million chips. Thinking of the chips that might be obtained in the end, the people in the casino were shocked, and even their breathing became slow, and they did not dare to make a sound. For them, 100 million is already astronomical, even if they are in a lifetime, they cannot earn so much. And Kinyi just sits at the gambling table, and it is possible to get 100 million funds under an understatement, which is simply small from the sky, making the eyes of the people in the casino red. Of course, the people in these casinos of Corrida do not want Kinyi to be able to guess correctly, and really hope that Kinyi will lose, so that he can send the big Buddha away without hurting his anger and not suffering any losses. Everyone in the casino focused on the roulette wheel and waited until the 3 dice stabilized and the final points were determined. Now, they are even more nervous than Kinyi, clenching their fists one by one, holding their breath, and not daring to speak, as if they speak, they will change the points of the dice and change the final result. Looking at this situation, they seemed even more nervous than Chiba. The sound of the dice rolling gradually subsided, and the roulette wheel gradually stopped, and the result immediately appeared in front of everyone, knowing whether Chiba won or lost. 3 6s, really 3 6s. When the points of the 3 dice stabilized, the inside of the casino completely exploded, and there was an irrepressible exclamation. After one person exclaimed, others exclaimed, it was really difficult to calm down. They were witnessing a miracle, their eyes locked on the 3 dice. Seeing that it was really 3 6s, the beautiful dealer in Corrida felt dizzy and almost fell to the ground. 16 million bets, if you multiply it 6-fold, that's 96 million, which definitely makes the casino bleed and suffered serious losses. Haha, it seems that Lady Luck still cares for me very much, and such points are all issued to me. Kinyi looked at the dice points in the roulette wheel, and his mood was also very happy, revealing a happy smile. In just a short time, he won nearly 100 million, which is really a big profit, and it is natural to be happy. It's almost time to play today, help me exchange chips and deposit them in the bank card. Kinyi spoke, a bright smile on his face. Seeing Kinyi like this, everyone in the casino didn't know what to say, and they envied it in their hearts, and even had the idea of snatching it. It's just that they know that Kinyi's strength is strong, even if they snatch it, they are not opponents, and they will only be sent to death for no reason. Although Kinyi is still a teenager, his strength is very strong, and his wrists are fierce, and killing people is nothing to him. Everyone around wanted to see what the reaction of N.A.N. Casino would be, how it would deal with this matter, and whether it would really hand over nearly 100 million gambling funds to Kinyi. An amount of 100 million, that is not a small amount, in other words, anyone will be moved. Everyone in N.A.N. Casino did not say anything or act, and turned their eyes to Corrida, hoping that he would preside over this matter and how to deal with it. Now Corrida is also a little surprised. Emotional, difficult to calm down, not knowing what to say, so there was no movement. He originally thought that the high level would soon send a strong person out and come to a thing, but it was delayed until now, and no strong person had arrived, and this kind of efficiency was really true. Why, does N.A.N. Casino just like to do this kind of thing? Does winning count if you win? Kinyi spoke coldly, his voice rose a lot, echoing in the casino, so that people could hear it clearly. When the gamblers in the casino heard such words, they all felt indignant at the behavior of the casino, and there was resentment in their hearts, but with the power of the casino, they were still a little jealous and did not dare to say more, lest they be retaliated against. They don't have the same great strength as Kinyi, they can't be unscrupulous, and they still have to consider the consequences when they speak. Hearing Kinyi say this, the people in the casino were still a little jealous, inexplicably panicked, and uneasy, because they did not have the right to speak, but did not dare to make a decision. Corrida, you are the manager of the casino, what do you say you will not give me the money you won? Kinyi looked at Corrida and spoke, his eyes became fierce, full of murderous intent. He was originally going to make trouble, and now that the money has won almost, it is his turn to make trouble. Otherwise, if the strong man sent by the casino high level is delayed, then he will not have to wait forever, he does not have that leisure. The task issued by the one-piece system is to destroy the casino, even if the people of N.A.N. Casino are not killed in the end, as long as they can destroy this palace-like casino, it can be regarded as completing the task. In this situation, Corrida became nervous and scared. He himself has no strength, he will only look at people's eyes and do things, like to befriend others. If he really wants to do it, even Kinyi's attack, it is estimated that he will not be able to resist, and he will be easily killed. So, really faced with this dangerous situation, Corrida became nervous, scared, and a little overwhelmed. "Yellow-haired boy, you still dare to come here to make trouble. I see that you are living impatiently." Just when Korida was overwhelmed and panicked in his heart, a majestic voice came in from outside the casino, like thunder, echoing in the space of the casino, forming an echo. Hearing this voice, many people felt a trace of shock, involuntarily, raised their heads, and looked towards the passage. What caught their eyes was an old man with gorgeous hair, a burly figure, a somewhat old face, wrinkles at the corners of his eyes, a beard, and grey loose clothes, walking into the casino with steady steps. As this old man walked into the casino, he exuded a majestic momentum, making everyone here feel an invisible coercion, wanting to kneel in front of each other and submit to each other. The eyes of this Hwafa old man are very sharp, like thunder and lightning flashing in his eyes, and he will stab straight out at any time like a sharp blade. If he does not have a firm will, he can't look at him at all, otherwise, he will be defeated by one of his eyes, and the whole person will collapse. Seeing such a character appear, everyone in the casino was shocked, their eyes widened, they couldn't believe it, they didn't expect that N.A.N. Casino would actually invite such a strong person, really no one expected it, unexpected. In their cognition, the old man Hwafa who appeared in the casino was very powerful, just like a godlike existence, invincible and unable to compete. The old man who appeared in the casino was in a neutral place like Yangming City, but he had a great reputation, he had been famous for a long time, his own strength was very strong, and he would not make a move easily, and once he made a move, no one would be able to survive. In the hearts of everyone, he is not only powerful, but also synonymous with death, and no one dares to fight him, or even look at each other. Silver Thunder. Seeing this burly old man appear, the people in the casino exclaimed, gasped, and seemed surprised and could not calm down. They didn't expect that the high level of N.A.N. Casino could invite this strong man, which was really unexpected. It can be seen that in order to deal with Kinyi, they have laid down their blood, determined to solve this little devil and restore their prestige. Silver Thunder, when he heard this title, Kinyi was also slightly startled, showing a surprised look, a little moved. Silver Thunder, a rebel in Union Village, finally came to a neutral place, gradually stabilized, hit a piece of heaven and earth, and had a god-killing name. After Silver Thunder came to Yangming City, with his own strength, he shocked many strong people and showed the strength of the hegemon, allowing him to gain a firm foothold in Yangming City. In Yangming City, Silver Thunder has the title of Three Saints, and is one of the three supreme beings. Because of his age, he rarely moves, but his prestige is still there, and no one dares to underestimate it. For the information of Silver Thunder, Kinyi does not know much, but he can understand approximately, knowing that the strength of Silver Thunder is really strong, at least reaching the peak of N.A.N., close to the point of shadow-level powerhouses, and a little stronger than the elite N.A.N. Since he is a traitor of Union Village, then physical skills are inevitable, even if he is old now. If he wants to compete with him in physical skills, it is a big mistake. I am afraid that he will be killed by one punch. Moreover, he has the name of Thunder, and the Thunder ninjutsu is probably not simple, and it can also burst out with terrifying power. After seeing that the Silver Thunder appeared here, and it was obviously aimed at Kinyi, everyone in the casino began to think that Kinyi was going to carry this time, and it was impossible to compete with the Silver Thunder. If the Silver Thunder makes a move, even if Kinyi's strength is strong, it will not be able to resist. He is too arrogant, and now he is causing trouble for himself, and I am afraid that he will have to pay with his life. He's going to die, and no one can save him. Everyone in the casino sighed, sighing a little at Kinyi, as if they had seen the result. There was no way to change it, Kinyi would inevitably fold here. Many gamblers in the casino didn't even dare to turn their faces with N.A.N. Casino, let alone confront one of the three saints of Yangming City, and they didn't even have that confidence, so they could only watch. Besides, they are not familiar with Kinyi, and they will not stand out for Kinyi and cause trouble for themselves. At most, they will feel that Kinyi is dead like this, and they are not worth it. And the people of N.A.N. Casino, who were a little worried before, were afraid of Kinyi, but now when they see the appearance of Silver Thunder, they don't need to be nervous at all, they can relax, and even give Kinyi's look. Kinyi, you dared to make trouble in the casino, you are dead, and no one can save you today. The owner of the casino, Korida, almost jumped up and pointed at Kinyi and scolded, venting the anger in his heart. He was originally unhappy with Kinyi, and he had accumulated a lot of anger in his heart, like a tsunami brewing, and now he could finally burst out, and he didn't have to be afraid so much. That is, even if you kneel down and beg for mercy now, you can't save your life. Are you too arrogant? Think that this place is somewhere, you come to spread wilderness at will. The people in the casino opened their mouths, one by one, indignant, and Hyundai was very angry, as if everyone had the strength to deal with Chiba and could easily defeat him. If you want to suffer less, cut yourself now, otherwise if I make a move, you won't even have the opportunity to cut yourself. The Silver Thunder walked over, squinted at Kinyi, and spoke. His voice was very majestic, and he was also very proud. In his eyes, even though Kinyi is a little capable, he is just a little ghost, not powerful, and it is certain that he will be defeated, but it will take some effort. Hearing the Silver Thunder speak, the people in the casino drank again, and their attitude became extremely arrogant, as if Chiba was a rookie who could be ravaged casually. Kinyi stood in the casino, fighting against the Silver Thunder, and glanced at the people in the casino, his expression was still very relaxed, without the slightest panic, let alone fear, frightened to the extent of self-determination. Silver Thunder, this title is very bullish. I also had a title before, called Silver Shura. I don't know which of us is stronger. Kinyi looked at the Silver Thunder, the corners of his mouth turned up slightly, revealing a cold smile, and said playfully, with a provocative meaning, without the slightest fear of the other party. As his words came out, the atmosphere in the casino immediately changed, and it seemed that the smell of gunpowder was permeated, and a battle would break out at any time. And the gamblers watching around were also awe-inspiring in their hearts, and they did not expect that Kinyi was fearless and dared to fight in the face of Silver Thunder, which required a lot of courage and confidence in himself. However, they still think that regardless of Kinyi's strength, dare to confront Silver Thunder. In the end, they will not be able to change the result, they will only be defeated by Silver Thunder and bombarded. There is no suspense. Silver Thunder in Yangning City, the murderous name is too strong, so that everyone feels that he is invincible, and he can't resist at all. If anyone provokes, it is a dead end. Little ghost, you are a little bold. Even if you face me, you still don't panic, but do you think you can compete with me? The Silver Thunder looked at Kinyi and said coldly, as if the thunder spread out, revealing a coercion. Then I don't know, maybe I can defeat you and remove Silver Thunder from now on. Kinyi shrugged his shoulders and said indifferently, there was no fear at all. In his opinion, although the strength of the Silver Thunder is strong, it is not impossible to defeat the other party, and it may waste more time than others. I'd rather see what you can do against me. Silver Thunder clanged coldly. In the next instant, he had already rushed out. The speed was very fast. In the blink of an eye, he approached in front of Kinyi, and a punch burst out strongly, bursting out with great power, making the fist pounce out, like a fierce beast, crashing towards Kinyi. Seeing the Silver Thunder blatantly shot, the power was so powerful, everyone present was shocked, feeling that this blow burst out, Kinyi would definitely be unable to resist, and was seriously injured by a punch. That was all possible. And the people in the casino waited to see Kinyi being blasted out, unable to stand up, waiting for death to come. Even if they struggled and begged for mercy, it would be useless. Just when everyone thought that under the powerful punch bombardment of the Silver Thunder, Kinyi could not resist and would be killed by the Silver Thunder, Kinyi did not have the slightest panic, and did not even have the idea of dodging. Kinyi just showed a cold smile, looking at the Silver Thunder, full of jokes, and a little mocking. Rumble. The Silver Thunder blasted out with a punch, bursting out with absolutely powerful power. Even if a giant elephant was attacked, I am afraid that it would be killed by a punch. There was no suspense.